morning, everyone, the respected dignitaries, Dr. Verghese, Dr. Alex Matthew, Ms. Shanti Josh, Dr. Rajiv, and all my dear friends from Toc-H Public School. I am Harshil R, currently working as the Assistant Collector of Manorama. So I would like to first of all thank Manorama for having invited me over for this session, and I really appreciate calling me out to interact with the young students. So I'll briefly tell you about how my education has been, how I prepared for the services, briefly about the services, and what I'm currently working on, and things like that. And rather than just telling monotonously how it went, I will also share some insights which I feel could be of use to people of your age. So my schooling was mostly from Gujarat till 10th, and then for 11th and 12th I went to Kochi to prepare for IIT. So yes, usually we look at them as cramming centers, but at the same time, such sheer competitions do really push you academically also. So if there are any opportunities at your age group also to engage in any strong competitive exams like be it Olympiads or even in extracurriculars at sports, let's say at the state level, if you can play some sports or something, you should really strive for it. Because the kind of competition you will aim for will shape the kind of preparation you will put into it. So naturally, if you prepare for something like IIT, yes, it will be difficult, but it will push you and you will become stronger academically. Then I got selected for Bachelor's in Computer Science Engineering at IIT Delhi. It was a 4-year program. And computer science is a very good field at this point of time. It is almost the cutting edge. We look at many technologies like machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things. All of them, the bulk of it is formed at computer science and engineering. If I was to speak about college, then other than academic inputs also, the culture of college also significantly shapes you as to who you are, your personality. Like within IITs, you will see that IIT Delhi is more inclined towards startups. Most of the unicorns come from IIT Delhi. IIT Bombay is more inclined towards academics. They have perhaps the best researchers there. So the choice of college that you will make will shape a lot more than simply the academic input that you are going to get, and you should keep that in mind, and it's a very important decision in your career. Upon finishing my college, I briefly worked in the private sector. I was a senior software engineer in Samsung Bangalore. I was working in the voice analytics teams, and it is almost, we can say, the cutting edge of technology that we are currently working on. And it was a very interesting profile. And I would say that private sector has very good opportunities to specialize, and that is also a very good career avenue. But due to some personal reasons, I thought that I would switch over to civil services. And I personally wanted to switch over to the Indian Administrative Services. So I'll give you a brief overview about Indian Administrative Service. IAS was preceded by the Imperial Civil Services. The Britishers during their rule formed the ICS in 1858, and the service that we have inherited that continues till date over these 160 plus years is in a way a remnant of that Raj. So they set up this ICS so that they could have certain important functionaries who form the fulcrum of district and the state level administration, who usually were from Britain, who could effectively control the whole country for them. And over the course of time, the service has also evolved Earlier, many people were inclined towards the service because of the paraphernalia that used to come with the service, because of the various perks and benefits. But in my understanding, the service has also evolved itself over these years, and it has now truly become a public service. The role of administrators has shifted, not merely regulating and controlling. It is more of an enabling role in which we try to solve people's problems. We try to act as agents of change who can bring meaningful impact into people's lives. Briefly, the career span goes into two phases. The first phase is field postings, which happens into various districts, positions like collector, development commissioners, regional commissioners. These are the vital touch points because they directly deal with the public. The image of the government is made or breaks directly by how well they deal with the public. So effectively, the field posting is very exciting because you talk to many people, you solve their problems, and for any crisis, any contingency, you have to be the person in action there. Be it elections, be it any disaster if it occurs, floods happen, anything, you have to go out and coordinate there. And later on we shift to the headquarters, where there is a degree of specialization that comes in. There are various departments, as you would be knowing in government: health, education, irrigation, agriculture, home, finance. All of them are typically headed by IAS officers. So you tend to specialize in a particular department and bring about change through that specialization in that department at not just a district level but at state level and at times even at the national level. So that's in a brief about what the service is. But I will share with you my personal reason why I wanted to prepare for the IAS. Obviously, it's a very strong platform to serve the society. No platform can match the extent that this platform can. No NGO, no private sector can ever match the scale which government can provide. But secondly, also you should consider this option because of the amount of diversity this job provides. IAS is almost coordinating with 30 plus departments. So you cannot have there is no schedule for any day. Each day you will face new set of problems. You will have to coordinate many things. So each day you will be working with schemes, you will be dealing with the public, you will be handling disasters, you will be handling contingency. And so many things, there are so many departments, you will be coordinating all of them. So there is a lot of diversity in this profile, which hardly any profile can provide. And secondly, the other factor which I considered was that it provides very strong leadership profiles at a very young age. Within 6 years, I could be a district collector by 29 if all goes well. So no other profile can provide such a strong leadership role at such a young age. Simply no profile. Even the management people, when they start off at a very junior level. So you get to solve lots of difficult problems at a huge scale at a very young age, and it really adds on to you as to who you are as a person. So that's why I would suggest that you can also consider civil services as a career option. It is a very strong and a good career option. Certainly you can study more about it, you can watch videos on it, listen to people who are from the services, and of course preparation for the civil services is a bit, it's not difficult, but yes, it's long and you need proper guidance for it. It will take time. We often hear that UPSC syllabus is endless. It's a huge syllabus. So yes, you'll have to prepare a little more for the UPSC, but at the same time it is not not impossible. Like if you set out for it, if you have the correct guidance, if you work hard, and if you work smartly, then I'm sure you'll make it. At this age group, I would suggest that if you are considering civil services as an option, then perhaps what you can do is you can start off by reading the newspapers more frequently, follow the current affairs more closely, look at how district administration, how state administration solves problems, and see whether you also have the aptitude. You can see if you also like to talk to people, try to solve their problems, and things like that. So that will give you the aptitude and the skill set, so that when you decide, you can switch over to civil services. There is no bar on which stream can opt for civil services. So currently you should focus on getting into the good college based on your interest. And along with that, over time you can gradually increase your alignment for civil services and prepare for it more strongly. I can take up any specific questions regarding preparation if you would like, even in person or right now. And in the end, I would also like to tell that there are many teachers here. So there is an equally important role that teachers play. To cite an allegory, Alexander became great not just because he was a great fighter or he was a good statesman, but also because his teacher was Aristotle. And the kind of value system, the kind of willpower, the kind of discipline that was inculcated by him was the reason that he could rule most of the known world with. So, thank you. Jai Hind.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, I'm Ashok Ananthapadmanabhan of class 8A. So my question is, our generation are interested in studying and settling abroad. What is your opinion on this?
There's nothing wrong with it. To some extent, yes, the institutions there have a longer legacy. So the tutelage that they provide comes with their own merits, and settling abroad is also fine. But at the same time, what a trend that is coming up these days is that you can go study there, work there, and learn from them their best practices, and come back to the country and try to implement them strongly here. So that will not only benefit the country, but will also you will have a very strong career within country itself. So I would suggest if you could go on those lines.
Good morning, sir. What will you achieve and change behind your dreams that you are now?
So, after coming into the service, the roles can vary, but there is a underlying constant that we chase, that is to provide social justice. So, social justice is a very wide-ended concept. It is not just about targeting poverty or providing some subsidies or helping some poor kid who can't afford with education. It is to provide the basic needs to the person who needs them the most. So, by each action which is lawful and right, you strive towards providing social justice. Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Abhimanyu from 9A. What was going through your mind when you become an Assistant Collector of Ernakulam?
So, I was quite elated because Ernakulam is a very good district to learn. Since this is my first posting, before this I was getting trained in Mussoorie. There we get trained for about a year, and when we get the first posting, the kind of metrics that we look at is it a big district, is it urbanized plus rural district, will there be complex challenges there, are there enough institutions other than the district administration, various central institutions, does it have any national and international dimensions to it, And when we look at all those counts, Ernakulam was perhaps one of the best districts there is to work. And I was really looking forward to this posting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good
I'm
morning.
Ragini from 10. Could you please let us know your vision for this generation?
I feel you have to craft your own vision, but if I was to just add my 2 cents to it, it would just be that live up to the best of your potentials. You know, whatever you do, have a certain fitness to it, have a certain degree of excellence to any work that you do. Don't just do it. Even no matter what it is, carry that sense of excellence in it and that sense of commitment and pride to it.
Good morning, sir. I'm Justin of class 11. So when did you consider yourself as a success?
I don't think I can ever sit down and consider it like that. I think I would be successful if on some day during my career I can take actions which can help lot of people in our country. If they can, if their lifestyle, their quality of life can improve, and if they feel that it has improved, I think on that day I will feel a bit successful. I don't do right now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Leon Leader from 8C. Sir, have you faced a helpless situation in your life? If yes, how did you face and overcome it?
I honestly I don't think I did, but it was due to the kind of mindset you carry, and if you will carry a similar mindset, you will not. You should not look at problems as problems. You should look at them as challenges, and you should try to make the best out of the situation that you have, the resources that you have. You will always have a support system to fall back on. You will have your friends, your peers, your family group. So believe in them, and whatever be the constraints, try to see how best can you react in that. And honestly, I don't feel you will ever face that situation.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm Shreya from 8. So my question is, what do you think is your greatest achievement in your life?
Could you please, greatest achievement? I think service is still too small to count as an achievement. It is rather what we will do in the service, for which I still have to prove myself. So that when I do that, I think that would be my greatest achievement.
Good morning, sir. My name is Anne Elizabeth George and I'm from class 8D. Sir, my question is, what can we do to not let gender equality in our society hinder us from fulfilling our dreams?
I think at a personal level, not see it as a hindrance, not see it as a difference, just to see it as a difference, not as a reason for division to treat people differently. And at a social level, it's a very social problem. You will have various approaches. Socially, you need to empower, we need to empower economically, politically, and we are taking steps in all those streams. But at the personal level, just to see gender as a difference, not a divide.
Good morning, sir. I'm Alan from class 8. So my question is, what do you think is a major challenge in front of teenagers in Kerala?
Major challenge.
Yes, sir.
It's not specific to just to Kerala. It is in general to the whole country that to rightfully channelize your energies, your potentials, and to consciously decide that what is good for you, be it academically, in extracurriculars, and over the board, to consciously make that choice and to know why you're making that choice. I think that's the most critical challenge that teenagers are facing. I hope you will make the right choice.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. I'm Ahana from 8C. Sir, when you were preparing for your exams, how did you self-motivate yourself and stay focused?
For being focused, it's easy because if you are a serious candidate, you will know the timelines. It's a huge syllabus, so you will properly divide it across into proper timelines, set targets, and you will stick to them if you are a serious enough candidate, so you will not lose track of things. For staying motivated, I think you should, fundamentally you should know in whatever you're doing, to stay motivated, you should know why you're doing it. And you should have a strong sense of calling as to you want to do it. No one else can come and motivate you. So unless you suppose want to pursue civil services, no one else can go and tell you that pursue civil services and you follow it. So know your calling and stick to it.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Leah from ASAP. Do you have any other goals in order to help our society thrive?
So as I say, when we are at the field levels, the goal that I would have is to effectively execute the policies which are laid out from the state level. They are formulated with a lot of collective wisdom, not only by our executive class but also by the political class and the people themselves. So when they come up to us and lay out their plans, lay out what they want, to ensure that it is being done well. And when naturally with career progression, when we go to the headquarters, then to look at any department, and I have certain background in technology, so I will try my best to inculcate those aspects of technology into those particular domains. So that will make we will shift from government to governance with that.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What are some principles that you have abided by throughout your life?
I think have certain clarity as to, like, basically you need to figure out and get to know yourself, what you want, and once you will have that clarity, you will follow that dream. And for that, to pursue it, usually I've seen hard work only does not suffice. You need to work a little smartly also. You need to know what's important, you need to know your priorities, you must be able to manage things. So have the clarity and then approach the problem with not only determination but also with certain smartness.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Myself, I'm Anha from class 80. So my question is, what advice would you give to yourself as a teenage boy or a high school kid?
I think academically I wouldn't give much advice. Perhaps only to even excel further in extra currics. I was decent, but perhaps to push myself even a little more in extra currics.
Good morning, sir. I'm Agnes from 8B. I just want to ask you a question. Like, what all problems did you face in your career?
Problems with IAS in general are that many a times we are recruited at a very young age, and we look that there are so many social problems which can be easily solved. We also know that this can be done, that can be done, but we have to operate in a more wider set of social variables, and we have to also account for them and to some extent even come to terms with them. And thus the mold that we have is not completely flexible but is a restricted mold in which we can operate. So that restriction can at times look like a problem to many. But at the same time, it is also an outcome of lots of collective wisdom of our heritage, of the institutions which were built over years and years. So there is certain merit to them also. But yes, bringing change, it usually takes time and bureaucracy. So perhaps that's one of the problems.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. I'm Maheshwari from ATEP. I have a question for you. What inspired you to be an IAS?
So there are various factors, but if I was to point out an inspiration, that would be my father. My father is also a civil servant, so from a very young age, I would just look at him, how he functions. He would deal with so many people, At times he would take me to field inspections with him. I would go and see how villages are, how he functions. I've seen him work in very difficult situations like floods, and that was inspiring subconsciously for me, and I had it in the back of my mind.
Good morning, sir. My name is Abhinav of class 9A. My question is, to whom do you credit your current success to?
Firstly, I think my teachers, and secondly, my parents.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Nipun Dave from class 9A. My question to you is that why did you choose civil services as a career?
Hello. So, as I said that I had various options and I was working in the private sector also. But the reason I made the switch was that in private sector, no doubt that we are specialists, we are doing a very good, we have an important role to play. It's at the cutting edge of technology. But when I was seeing myself 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, I could see how that profile would evolve. And the kind of personal values that I have, I thought that I am not aligned with that. Perhaps I would like to do things on a bigger scale and take up more interesting challenges. That's why I made the switch to civil services from private sector.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is Toc-H Patel from class 9B. So my question is, can you give any good motivational guru mantra for us to reach the pinnacle just like you? And how did you manage your time? Do you like sidestep all the sort of entertainment?
For motivation, I don't think that you need motivation from me. There's motivation all around you. There must be students amongst yourselves who must be excelling in sports. They must be toiling on evenings to go out and play football or something. So whenever you look at anyone who is working hard, you will feel motivated. You don't need to look outside. You can look within your peers. And as for managing the schedule, yes, at times you need to cut down on certain things. But it's all about prioritization. So there would be certain points in your life when career would become very important, let's say just before you join the college. But when you need to account for the long-term offsetting that will happen also. So if you are setting off entertainment for right now, then perhaps you will have it in future. So when you look at a bigger picture, I think you will be better off than someone who is not doing it.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, myself, Gridasani Joseph from grade 12. Sir, now we are discussing on the topic dreaming big.
Yes.
Sir, do you really think that our current education system promotes our students, Indian students, our Indian education system really promotes our students to really dream big? Or think beyond the textbooks? Or is our nation really utilizing the capacity, the intelligence and skills of our students? And also, throughout your session, I could hear that the importance of the co-curricular in a teenager's life. But do you think that really our education system, especially our schools, giving equal ratings for co-curricular activities? Or do you think that our Indian education system need to be both? Do you think that?
I think everyone has resonated with that statement. I agree to some extent. See, like all systems don't evolve. Systems don't, there's no revolution, there's evolution. So we know that there is a certain direction, and we know that direction is right. The momentum could be slow, the speed that we are taking towards that destination could be slow, but we have that sense of direction, that consensus is there, not just at your level, but even at the national level. That's why when we look at the newer policies, such as the new education policy, it places very strong emphasis on co-curricular activities. When we look at, yes, I agree with your statement to some extent that the education system does not promote, creative thinking, will not look at what are the relevant skills with the new age, but over time we are gradually inculcating them, and specifically certain private schools at their own level have inculcated them. The teachers also play a strong role in that. The kind of inputs that you will gain will not only depend on what is written in the textbooks, but how they are taught to you. But overall, the systemic overhaul is also in process, and I'm sure that over the years the progression has been more progressive, and the situation will improve only further.
Also, sir, how do you compare the Indian education system with education systems in other countries? How do you compare the Indian education system with the education systems in overseas regions?
So, I agree, because of the kind of populations that we have, and the number of positions that we have, the competition that we have, the Indian education system is very competitive, very education oriented, and does not promote a lot of creative thinking. Whereas when you will look at the education models of other countries, even the other Chinese, even the other Asian our counterparts follow similar education profile. If you look at China, they will also provide they have similar, they lay a lot of emphasis on primary education, and then based on certain competitive metrics, go to either the academics or go to militaries and sciences. When you look at the other European counterparts, certainly they lay a lot of emphasis on specialization, on interdisciplinary approach. You can change your majors, minors within colleges, things like that. So it's a more flexible system, but I think we are also headed towards that. We have our own constraints which make that change a little slower than what we want. We can see what we want, but we are not able to reach it, but we'll do it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So thank you all, and particularly with respect to civil services, if any one of you is considering preparation or you just need any inputs, you can always feel free to contact me. I will be happy to help. Thank you.